Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the THICCDAD Podcast. As you can see, sitting next to me, I have a incredibly special guest who flew from a different country just to be on this podcast today. Please welcome the hilarious Deric Cahill to the show.
He paid me handsomely in Canadian dollars for this.
Which is worth nothing, and the money is plastic, and it's colorful, and it looks ridiculous. But Deric,
I came here for the loonies and the toonies.
Do you have a collection yet? A bucket, maybe?
No.
You should get like a hip bucket of some kind.
That's $1 and $2, right?
The toonie is two.
The loony is one.
It's very clever marketing on the two part. I came up with the loony first, obviously, and then
Is
they were
it?
like, "What's two loonies?"
Is it tourist money? Or is it real money?
No, it's real money.
But like people use it. Like, would you go and be like, "Here's your toonie for like a cup of coffee or something"?
Yeah.
Although cups of coffee in Canada are probably like $9.
At Starbucks, they are, yeah. But no, it's real money that people use. You get used to it, but when you realize, when you think of it, of like, I'm saying the word toonie to an adult.
You don't have any fucking toonies on you, bro.
I have no toonies.
Are you
It's not
poor?
that you can feel
I
here.
felt for the threenie, but I
there's
did that off camera.
There's a third pocket you haven't checked. But thank you so much for being here. How long have you been in Toronto?
What time is it? Like 3:30? I've been here about 3.5 hours.
And how is your stay so far?
It's wonderful. I rented a gigantic truck, and they tried to dissuade me, but I was like, fuck you. I'm from Texas. I rent huge automobiles, and then I almost got it stuck in the parking garage here in Toronto. But other than that, it's been great. I went to a Greek restaurant, and it was my aunt and my uncle. You may know my uncle. He's famous previous NHL player, Tom Fergus from the Maple Leafs. Go Maple Leafs.
Go Maple Leafs.
We ordered some Greek salads. My aunt ordered it with steak. Then I ordered it with chicken. My uncle ordered it with chicken. And the waiter leans in and he said, "Don't get the steak." And I was like, what the fuck is what? That made me, I lost all confidence for this establishment.
In the entire restaurant, yeah.
All of it. Because like, if you don't have, like, what's wrong with the fucking steak, dude? Like, why would you just, it was very and he wasn't shitting at all. He was like, "Do not get the steak." And then he walked around, refilled our waters, and leaned in again from a different angle. "Don't do it."
So this
like,
guy
what
has some
the
steak-related trauma.
Yeah,
at this
the
restaurant.
salad was great. It was a good chicken salad. She switched it. She went with the chicken, and he goes, "Always ask the waiters at the restaurants what they think of the steak." And I was like, this is the most fucking Canadian thing I've ever seen in my
Whose
entire
restaurant is
fucking
this?
life.
M. Night Shyamalan?
I
What
don't
the
fucking
fuck?
know what it is, dude, but there's a lot of drama. I don't know what's going on with the steak, but if you eat at a Greek restaurant, I can't remember the name of it, on Danforth Avenue in Toronto, do not get the steak.
And in most restaurants, you'd think that a steak is a premium meat that you would be...
Yeah, it was giving like this has mad cow disease or something. It like we've had the steak out for 3 days. No one thought it's probably bad because this motherfucker dissuades everyone from buying. They buy a bunch of steak. They're like, "Oh, this fucking great menu item for our menu," and then this motherfucker out here is like, "Don't even buy." I think he might be trying to ruin the business.
They can't figure out why they're not selling.
They're paying
any
top
steak.
dollar for the meat, and all the servers are like, "Let's fucking ruin these
It's
bitches."
actually perfectly good quality steak. He just has something.
I couldn't believe it. It's the most dramatic I've ever seen a waiter get about a menu item. It wasn't
Vegan
even
waiters,
like
vegan waiters.
It wasn't even like I prefer the chicken. The chicken is much. He was like, "Don't get the fucking steak."
That's horror movie.
Yeah,
shit,
dude. It
That's
was
unbelievable. I was at a restaurant a couple weeks ago and asked the waitress what her preference on two sandwiches was.
Oh,
and
you're
she
one of
said-
those guys.
I didn't know. I was stuck. Okay, it was either the Nashville hot or the Buffalo. Okay, kind of similar, kind of not. I said, "What's your preference?" And she told me which one she liked more. She didn't say.
You asked her a preference of hot sauces.
I said, which one's better?
That's not the same thing.
I said, which one's better?
I can't believe.
I'm sorry I didn't go to your horror movie Greek restaurant.
I'm flabbergasted at. Can't believe you, dude. You fuck up the buffalo chicken or the Nashville hot. They're both spicy chickens.
Yeah. and
What
I
were you
thought-
asking her for?
I said, which
'Cause
one's better?
Yeah, but better in that term is subjective to her spice level because that's the only difference.
I like spicy. I told her that.
Okay.
And then she
so
told
you
me which
gave
one.
her the answer that you were looking for. She just told you. Why didn't you just ask her which one's spicier? Is that what you were looking for? The spicier
Look, I
chicken?
hadn't thought about it that much, and now you're making me devolve in my own
I would
shitty
never
story.
forget that experience if I was that waitress. I'd be like, "That's fucking idiot over at table 13. Just asked me which I liked between the buffalo chicken and the Nashville hot. Like, it's the same sauce, it's different names. This fucking moron." That's imagining what they were
talking about. Do you work at this restaurant?
I think I might have
there.
overheard it. They're like, this fucking moron.
Well, thanks again so much for being here. Do you want to? This concludes the episode. Do you want to promote anything quickly? This episode will come out on the.
I don't.
You don't want to promote anything? Oh, look at that. We can just chat. First of all, so I asked on Instagram last night for people to.
You know what I love? The shirt that you're wearing. I don't even fucking sell it anymore. So he's wearing it for no reason.
This is a vintage Deric Cahill.
Other than just being, wearing me, giving the middle fingers. I hate selling stuff.
It's so bad. I have merch too, and it is just.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. I
feel like you're gouging people no matter how much.
No one gives a fuck.
That's
do you have anything to promote? Yeah, my fucking. They'd be like, skip. Everyone's selling something.
That's true, and you're not selling nothing.
I'm not selling shit, dude.
At least you're not selling something like that guy with the steak.
Yeah, I do sell things, but very passively. You want to buy it? Because I'm not begging anyone to fucking buy a $29 shirt from me or a fucking $4 sticker that come in 2 packs for $8 on my website. boldfam.com.
The most subtle, least subtle not plugging an item of all time. Okay, so I asked on Instagram last night, and I've done these polls a lot. Whenever I, need an idea or I want to do questions or whatever on a pod or whatever, I say, hey, ask some questions. I got the worst, most lackadaisical responses of all time. I don't know if the smart people who ask good questions had gone to sleep.
Maybe I just don't leave a lot to the imagination. Maybe there's no questions for me.
You do leave it all out there.
I do.
I would say. So I wrote these ones down, and most of them are not even questions. Just so here's the ones that were asked on Instagram last night.
It's 8.5 inches.
You always ask me so here's. Whenever I do a poll and I say ask a question, Deric always chimes in with something disgusting, like what does it taste like or how big is it?
I had typed out last night how big is his ween, but I was like, nah.
That would have been one of like 5 responses that I would have got to this. It would have been hilarious. Okay, so this is a response. No, just super pumped for this.
That's cool.
So thank you to that person.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hopefully there isn't anyone who's involved with the steak industry because they're going to not like how this started.
They're not going to like the restaurant. I was merely communicating an incident that occurred within the business.
This question makes 0 sense. I wonder if you can decipher it.
Okay.
My question is for the kids. Is your dad actually funny? Now, does this person think that you brought your children with you to Toronto to do a show?
Probably. There's no way they thought that.
How could you? What kind of question is that?
They're dumb. They're dumb idiots.
Moving on.
But just in case, for the answer, my kids do think I'm funny and hilarious.
My daughter thinks I'm hilarious. She's 7 months old, so she doesn't have a lot of
comparison. It'd be funny if she was like, fuck you.
Popping out from behind. Okay, so your youngest is what?
3.
3? So you would have dealt with this probably a couple years ago when my daughter's same age as my daughter. Is there any greater feeling than when you're on a roll and you find something that's consistently making them laugh?
Yes.
Then the switch up of immediately that thing doesn't make them laugh anymore. That
unfortunately, I've never had to deal with that. The things I do to my children, they always think are hilarious.
This can't be just a me issue.
I try to keep it, I try to bring the levity and the novelty into the things I do with my children.
And you can read the crowd and tell when they're getting sick of it, and you immediately switch it up.
I can tell when the off-ramp is coming, and I always have a new ramp coming up.
And I just speed right fucking past it and do the same.
You fucking beat it to death.
And she's like, staring at me. Okay.
I have a question for you. Do you think you're ever going to be able to grow an entire beard?
No,
that's
no
it. That's maximizing your potential.
My dad.
It's funny because it doesn't grow here at all, and then you get a little patch here, so it like skips your sideburns, and then you have naked cheek, and then a little bit of chin hair.
I think 90% of that is just how I'm built by the Lord, and then this part though is because I just got a haircut like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, but you don't even have good stubbles going on there. It's like you have some black hairs over here, so like it's like the beginnings. It's like. When a mom and a dad have sex and make a baby and it like forms the full baby, this is like if it wasn't if it wasn't done getting made, like it was just jizz on someone's face, it's never gonna make a baby, but like you can tell there's evidence of potentials.
My facial hair is a cum shot on the back. Oh my God, that is a great question. I think you've pretty much just roasted me this whole time so far, which I'm quite enjoying. Though I get that brought up all the time. I have a 17-year-old brother who has like the same level of facial hair, but his has true potential, whereas mine absolutely does not. This one's great. This one isn't even a question. I don't know if this one's going to warm the cockles of your heart or not. Just says, just lots of love for you and your family from Pakistan.
To me or to you?
That's
not
sure.
to me. That's a to you thing. I don't have any Pakistani fans.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, I love my Pakistani fans, so thank you guys so much. Does it ever blow your mind a little bit, the reach that some of the shit has? Like, you see comments from different countries.
It always feels like scams to me, though. It's like there's no way I'm fucking popular in South Africa. Like someone's just trying to like rub my nipples and like warm me up to like ask me for a fucking $50 or something.
Which is exactly what I did before this podcast started. But
he warmed me up, all right.
And then another one that just said, you guys need to perform in Hamilton, Ontario next time. I can assure you that is not a good idea.
Where's Hamilton?
About an hour and a half west of here. An hour and a half west of here. It is a godless shithole, I will say that.
Why? I'm godless, and I'm a shithole. That's probably where my people are.
You might fit right in. Actually, you probably have a lot of fans in Hamilton, Ontario.
Give me some demographics of Hamilton. Like, walk me through the town.
So a lot of crack addicts walking around.
What's their big piece of commerce that comes out of Hamilton, Ontario?
Well, there's steel. Steel's a big.
Oh, okay. So like a little Pittsburgh feel to it, a little Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there's a lot of like
Carnegie.
You can't see this, but the view outside of this hotel is just rocks and concrete.
Yeah.
That's basically all of Hamilton. It's just like this view, kind of.
Yeah.
With crack addicts mixed in, a lot of danger, a lot of knives.
Is there a good downtown area?
There's a Harvey's, which is a Canadian burger chain that was good 22 years ago.
That's how you define a downtown area, that there's a burger place? Or are you trying to describe that that's how none of a downtown they have?
That's how none of a downtown.
Compare it to a U.S. city that you know of.
I'm trying to think of shitty U.S. cities. You've been to a lot of cities recently.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
It could be.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Someone with a better
I stayed at a hotel in Greensboro, North Carolina. The people at the show were phenomenal. But the club put me up at a hotel, and when I was checking in, they said that they had to raise their minimum incidental rate from $20 to $50, and I'm an inquisitive person. I asked why, and they said too many homeless people were robbing their televisions, so they needed to increase their incidental rate, and I was not happy about that I was going to go have a hotel like where the homeless go. And listen, I love the homeless. Big crowd I love them. All right. I wish they could find a home. Right. I don't love that for them. I don't love that they're homeless. I love the homeless.
Yeah.
A lot of love. I avoid them. Okay. But if I were to choose, do you love homeless people or hate I'm way closer to loving them if they don't approach me. Okay.
Yeah, from a distance. You love from a distance.
Yeah. When I travel, I like to go to like nice hotels. I like to be bougie at my hotels. I want to sleep on a bed that is luxurious. I like to have the nice amenities at the hotel. This hotel, it was Mecca for homeless, and I didn't like that one bit. And that was Greensboro, North Carolina for me.
Let's break down this problem that this hotel has a little bit.
Yes.
Stealing TVs is insane. First of all,
Yeah.
aren't they mounted to the wall? So they're walking in with tool belts.
Yeah, that's you get to hide a wrench. I don't think you need a tool belt to take a TV off a wall.
Okay, so you hide the wrench. Now you're walking out with a 42-inch TV.
What are they going to do? Fight to the death over a television?
So that's probably in their policy of like they had to like handwrite it into the handbook.
Yeah.
Starting
do not stop the homeless.
Do not stop the TV.
Yeah.
And then $30 though. I mean, that doesn't cover a lot of TV theft.
Yeah, I mean, they're not, it wasn't like 80-inch LEDs. These were, your run-of-the-mill LG, Samsung, 32 inches perhaps.
Okay, so that's not.
I mean, it was you could definitely hawk that thing for $50 to $100. You got to be careful as a pawn shop owner. You can't, it's not every day. You can't see the same gym 5 times a week selling a fucking 32-inch LG and be like, I got some. It's at a certain point, you're buying stolen goods. So I'm sure they've depressed the market of televisions there.
Everyone you turn on has the hotel menu on.
Yes. Thanks for checking in, Jim. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
You've been to a lot of cities recently. You're currently on tour. Best city, worst city. Obviously not.
Just
people,
covered worst city.
The people are fantastic
dope.
everywhere.
People are fantastic literally everywhere. No matter what shithole I go to, I always attract my people, which is great. Greensboro is the worst I've been to for sure. No interest in going back there. You'd have to pay me a fortune. Or maybe I was in the bad part of Greensboro. Or if I go back to Greensboro, I'll buy my own hotel. The club obviously didn't want to pay for a luxurious hotel for me, so put me at the homeless village. I will never forget that. You homeless village me once, shame on me. You homeless village me twice. That's a shame on you and me.
They looked
no shame on you the first time for giving me that's a shame on them. No shame to me for checking into homeless village. I just checked into my hotel. I take no shame for checking into the homeless place. Okay, but if I went back there again, knowing what I know now, and I accepted another homeless village, that would be my fault, and I would never do that. So
and I feel like the club, did they look at like hot spots of stolen TV activity and then pick a hotel in the eye of one of the storms?
I think that's what happened. The club did give penny pinching a bit. They did look like they want to save some money, which I'm about. Okay, cool. Just they picked the wrong person. I'll never go back.
Well, you hear that, Greensboro? Okay. Now on the flip side, best city.
I really enjoyed West Nyack, New York. It's about 45 minutes north of New York City. It's a small little village town. It was very walkable. There was like 4 homeless people there, which I think is actually kind of fucked up as a city to allow that to happen, because, you know, they're a community of a few thousand people, and to have homeless people there means that, like, they're probably known homeless people. Like, you probably know the homeless of West Nyack.
They probably get invited to...
Yeah, you know, like, events. You know, they probably, like, every morning this lady goes to work, she probably brings an extra muffin for Jim, the homeless guy that, like, has the... like, she just knows Jim. And that's what pisses me off about that, is that collectively as a town, they could all, like, donate $20 and, like, give them all a place to live all year long, and they don't do it. Yeah. So it's embarrassing for them as a city. But as a bigger picture, the town was phenomenal.
Yeah, I went to a jazz basement. You should either have 0 homeless people or
too many.
A problem. There can't be 4.
You can't have 5 homeless people in one town, especially a town like West Nyack, New York. It's such a lovely little town. It's like the homeless are there as accoutrements to their city, and you know,
almost like placed,
like art. Like they want to prove that they're a bustling town, and bustling towns need homeless.
Yeah,
it's like they bring them in. I wonder if they actually go home at night. They just cosplay as homeless during the day, potentially.
It could be like LARPing or whatever.
Yeah,
shit is.
Live action role playing. Yeah, that could be it.
That could be
interesting.
So I wanted to thank you for deterring anyone in my life from getting a pool. That's a big, hot topic of discussion. Actually, one of the questions, the last question I had was, when are you going to fill in your pool? You said
there were 7 questions. You've asked 3 questions.
There was
and
5.
One of them was from Pakistan.
There was 5.
And not a question.
There was 5. 3 of them were not questions. One of them was come to Hamilton. That also wasn't a question. And then one of them was, when are you going to fill in your pool? Did they mean with concrete or with clean water?
Probably concrete, which I'll never do. Because, you know, having a pool at the house, no, I fucking hate my pool. But it does bring property value. True. You know, if I filled in that pool, my house is going to lose probably $10,000 in proposed value.
So you have a backyard.
Yeah.
And a pool.
Yes.
That house would be anywhere near where we are currently would be $3 million.
Wow. I paid $4 million for mine. American dollars. So that the inflation makes sense.
That's like $100 Canadian million. What does your wife do? Because my wife, I mean, I should ask this entire question before. So my wife struggles with finding hobbies and things to do that like get her out of the house, a little bit of escape. What does your wife do as a hobby to sort of, as in her free time?
She does roller derby.
That sounds badass.
Yeah, it is. It's super badass.
Should I try to get my wife into roller derby?
Is your wife a bad bitch?
She is, yeah. She does have weak ankles, though, due to a incident.
Fucking really insulting thing to say about someone.
It would be insulting if she didn't have a double ankle sprain while she was 8 months pregnant with our daughter. So about a year and a bit ago, she had a double ankle sprain that I don't think would be conducive to roller derbying, if we're being honest with ourselves.
A double ankle sprain?
Okay, see, I've talked about this before. I don't think a double ankle sprain has ever happened. Can I quickly explain to you?
But even a regular ankle sprain, what is that, 3 months of recovery and your ankle's unsprained? Like, isn't that just interior bruising?
Yeah.
She's still playing the ankle sprain card fucking 18 months later?
I'm saying that...
so you are insulting her by saying she has weak ankles. She gets one double ankle sprain and all of a sudden this woman is a fucking weak-ankled lady? That's what the fuck are you talking about?
Strong from everywhere above her ankles.
How many times has she double sprained her ankles?
Once.
One time. That's not enough times to
ankle
fucking claim that she's a weak-ankled woman.
Ankle sprains last forever.
No, they don't. She's probably already healed. How dare you? You better keep this in the podcast.
I will keep it.
I want to, because
My
your
wife's gonna
fucking
listen to
wife
this
deserves
while-
better than this. I can't believe that you referred to your wife as weak-ankled for... I thought you were going to tell me she fucking broke her ankle, like had to get an ankle surgery. I thought you were about to take me on a quest that, like, she fell on a subway and the train ran her ankles over. Like, that I would have bought into. But you can't follow up a story claiming your wife is weak-ankled and then say she sprained them.
One was a high sprain and a low sprain. Does that make it?
That was an incident that occurred. She's not weak-ankled. What's your wife's name?
Ashley.
Ashley. You're not weak-ankled.
Okay. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Derek says you're not weak-ankled, and you should
gaslight-
do roller derby.
You're gaslighting her. You don't want her to get out of the house. She wants hobbies, and you're like, baby, what about your ankles? You're weak-ankled. You can't get out of the house. You got fucking weak ankle. What if I never see you again?
It's not. That's not the case. I would like her to do something where
I'm peeling this motherfucker apart like an onion right now. Weak-ankled and hits me with a fucking double sprain. Interesting move.
It was in the parking lot of an Italian restaurant, if that makes any sort of difference.
It doesn't add anything to the story. I'm still flabbergasted that you followed up weak-ankled with just she got a sprain. I don't know if you know a thing or two about sprains.
Sprains in a lot of cases are worse than breaks.
That's absolutely incorrect.
Can we look this up?
I don't
look this up afterwards.
Let's just pretend that I'm facting, because then we can fact check after, and you can include it as like one of those warnings on political posts, like some misinformation occurred. What I understand as a sprain is like an interior bruise of like your things that go on down there, whether it's like a muscle.
She rolled both of them in the ligaments stretch.
Listen, I'm not discounting that she probably hurt herself.
It was bad.
I'm not saying that she wasn't in pain. I'm not saying that she didn't need a couple, maybe even months of bed rest. But 18 months later, to refer to your wife as weak-ankled because of that, out of a whole life, you get one double ankle sprain and you're fucking labeled double. I'm weak-ankled. I don't buy it.
Okay, I will look up roller derby.
and rollerblades, they'll come up and protect the ankle, actually, if you tie them tight enough.
It's a lot like hockey skates.
Yeah.
So in that case, okay. I am learning so much. That's why I flew Derek in here to this hotel just to do my podcast, so I could learn a lot about apparently how much of a shitty husband and partner I am.
Yeah, you're gaslighting that woman.
I really think that I am learning a lot.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do you ever post? I'm sure this happens to you. Do you ever post something and then you go, "Phew, fuck, this could be the end. Could be the end of it all."
Like a cancellation video?
Almost, yeah, to that level.
No, that's more my stand-up. I'll say things on stage and be like,
"Ooh, if someone
thank God this isn't
there's
live."
a clip of that.
Yeah, that's on real life stuff. The internet, no, because I'm pretty like self-aware enough to like I'll listen things back and be like,
maybe that's.
But I'm not saying crazy things. Like I did a vlog. I posted it and then I didn't like because I don't know how to post to YouTube and make it so when you rotate it's big. I thought I did it, but when I rotated it, it just got even smaller. So I was like, I didn't do this right.
The opposite effect
But in that video, I was performing in I just did a show in St. Louis, Missouri, and after my show, the feature that was on my show was featuring like 30 minutes away for Fiona Cawley, who I've performed with several times. She came with me and did all. She actually was in Greensville, I don't know, Green something, North Carolina. She was performing, headlining about 30 minutes away, and so I went and did a guest set on her show. Fiona's fantastic, but the bar that she was doing a bar show, and I was recording me and Fiona, and I was like, this place is fucking white trash. And as I was posting it, I was like, oh, that's probably gonna ruffle someone's feathers. But I, was like, send it, and then I ended up deleting it because it didn't turn. So I guess I dodged a bullet.
And I know you've dealt with the censorship on Instagram to an unnecessary level. I used the term white trash in a comment once and got like a flag.
Oh, no. White trash is an insult. Like, I can see why you would get flagged for. Like, if I called someone a white trash piece of shit and then I got a community guidelines violation for it, I'd be like, yeah. Like, I get that.
But you got banned like for saying the F word too much. Like, that seems.
No.
Didn't you? Is that what happened?
No. That was it's still bullshit. I posted a video review about a fucking place in Colorado. Hold on, I'm trying to think of the name so I can disparage them one more time. Summit County Mountain Retreats. Piece of shit place. Don't ever go there. I made a video, not even really talking shit, like horrific shit. I was just telling my story. They fucked me over out of a couple $1,000. Oh, no, that's a lie. They fucked me out of like $500. It felt bigger. It feels
like
it
$2,000.
feels a few $1,000.
4 times.
Well, what happened was it was an 8-day rental. We were going skiing with 2 families. We were sharing a townhouse, and on the first day, we realized the fucking washing machine was in disrepair, and we had put laundry in it, and what was it? Was it? Yeah. The washing machine didn't work, and we opened it, and it's fucking full of green slime. It had been so broken for so long. There was like mold inside of it. And I told the people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, sorry, we'll handle that when you guys check out." And we go to check out, and they offered me like $100, I think, or like $180 as compensation. And I was like, that doesn't feel compensatory enough. Like I had to go to a fucking dry cleaners like 3 times. I think we spent like $60 or $70 on coins, time away from the slopes. I think we had some people miss a day because their clothes weren't clean. And so I was like, give me $500 and I'll feel good. It was like a $4,000 weekly rental. I was like, give me $500 and I'll feel good. And they told me to go fuck myself in more words than that. They wouldn't play at all. They wouldn't play. They never came up on their money. So I made a video talking about them on Instagram, and it got taken down for hate speech. And
for giving an honest review of a
there was no hate speech in it, and it was about a business. I think I called them shit dicks or something. You know, I definitely was insulting them, but not in a hate speech kind of way. I appealed it. The appeal was instantly denied, and then my account got suppressed for like 90 days,
which is a lot when you're on tour trying to
and they didn't even tell me how long. It was just like you're no longer being shown to people that don't follow you.
Just crazy. Maybe that's one of the reasons why you don't have any fans in Pakistan.
Maybe. But it was a good thing because they still showed me the followers, and I guess like I had like 750,000 followers at the time, so like it was not a bad place to be at the end of the day. But it still pissed me off.
I'm gonna ask one more question. I came up with this one.
Oh, you done talking to me?
No, I just think that I'm done being berated on my own podcast. No,
guys, we ended up not doing the podcast with Deric, so we're gonna miss a week.
Thanks for the 4 non-questions.
The whole podcast is gonna be, I got Deric Cahill with me here today. It's gonna show a nipple, and then that's the end of the podcast.
It's a 40-second episode, my fastest one yet. You and I we've discussed this before.
Not the fastest thing you've ever done, though.
Have. It is one of the reasons I have 2 children. We've discussed this before. Neither of us have fathers.
Well, we have them, but
they're not on Earth.
Yeah.
Right. Is that a nice way to say it? I don't know.
Yeah, they're dead.
We both have dead dads, and I know a lot of people out there are in the same boat. How has not having a dad around impacted your parenting? Because I find myself...
Well, didn't you have a good relationship with your dad? Like, he was a cool dude, and you loved him a lot. From what I gathered from like your Instagram posts.
Yeah. So then, I mean, that was obviously a different situation.
Yeah, no, my dad was a piece of shit. So
is that like motivates you to never want your kids to feel that way, the way you did, type of thing?
For sure.
Because I feel like I have a lot of, I don't know why, I don't know if this is normal or not. I have a lot of like dad guilt when I go do things. Like when I go out and play hockey at night and I feel like I'm missing.
Yeah, well, that's also, I think, millennial fatherhood in general.
That's probably because you're on tour and you're in different cities for days on end.
Yeah.
How does that feel like? From like, if you had to struggle with,
I actually feel worse at home sometimes when I have quick home trips because my brain isn't. It's hard to get my brain home again.
You're still in like tour.
Yeah, like for example. There was a couple weeks ago I was on the road for like 10 days and I had one trip home. I was home for like 18 hours and I was just so fucking tired and like used, like I'd been like performing like I was just so that like I'm never like mean to my kids, but like I was like, let's chill and watch a movie, and like that's where I feel bad is when I am home with them and I'm not being home with them, like let's go to the park, when I'm gone, I'm not gone for very long usually. Like I have a couple, like those 10-day trips I take, by like day 5, 6, like I really just miss my fucking wife and kids and I want to go home. But usually like this one, I left yesterday. I did Stamford, Connecticut last night. I'm in Toronto tonight. I go home tomorrow and I'm home all day. And then I go to Austin, which is just like 3 hours south of Dallas, and I'm home the next day, and I'm home for like a week. So like I kind of chop it up, so I don't get a lot of like. If I was gone for like A month? Yeah,
that would be.
That I don't think I would even do that though. I would never route myself to not see my fucking children.
Yeah,
for
especially because they're all such different ages. Like leaving a 3-year-old they don't fucking understand that you're working or whatever. Like we use like when my wife is out, let's say, at a massage place getting her weak ankles massaged or whatever, and my son's like, "Where's mommy?" We just like say at work because it's like that's where I am during the day, so he kind of understands.
With Rowan, Daddy's gonna go do a comedy show. Anytime I'm leaving, usually I am going to do a comedy show, but he doesn't know what a fucking comedy show is. He's like, oh my God, Dad's a fucking stand-up comedian. That's so cool. Tell me a joke. Comedy show to him means I'm not going to be home.
Yeah, which is, I think that's the only way that I can.
He's going to grow up probably hating comedy shows. Be like, that's fucking has taken my father.
He'll be super into like jazz or something.
He'll be the biggest heckler at comedy. Fuck you!
He'll be protesting comedy shows nationwide.
You took my father from me. My name is Inigo Montoya.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
About a half hour. That's not bad. It's what I wanted to do.
Yeah? Or usually your episodes
I usually do like
30?
20 minutes on solos.
Oh, okay.
And then I've done the hours before, and it's just like, it's a lot of editing.
Hours a lot of... Are you going to edit this? Do you go through and like cut it in the middle and stuff?
No.
Yeah.
I'll post it right away.
Right?
It's just I'll maybe have to listen to this to see, because some of these peaks in sound are off the charts. So... I will have to see how that goes. But, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the THICCDAD Podcast. I hope you got through all of it. That's through the nipple again. Yes, thank you. So there's sort of like a bookend, a nice nipple bookend,
you should
if you
keep
will.
the nipple at the beginning, so then this nipple becomes a treat at the end.
Because you showed the other one before, right?
I did show the other one. Yeah, so they got it like, yeah.
If you want to see both nipples, you have to listen to this entire episode.
That's the end of it.
And then in the middle, it's just me getting roasted the whole time. And then that guy with the steak.
I don't know why I talk so much shit, because I'm actually usually, I like to uplift people, but whenever I do comedy, I fucking just eviscerate. I
did not feel uplifted on this podcast at all. All right, Deric, thank you so much, man, for being here.
You.
I love you too, buddy. Can't wait to do the shows tonight. Can't wait to do the shows tonight. Pakistan, we love you, and that's the honest to God truth. Thank you so much.